a lot more confident team. You know, a big part of that is just the speed we've shown all season long.
No black cloud tonight for Martin Truex Jr. as he scores the biggest victory of his career.
Martin Truex Jr. will win the Southern 500.
Yeah, baby, 500. Third to the line by Chase Winner. Yeah!
He has dominated round number 1, and he's dominated at Dover. He'll win again. And he was able to dominate in May, leading 392 of the 400 laps. If there's anyone that could potentially beat Martin Truex Jr., it might be somebody that he's in alliance with. Let's go down to Parker.
Actually, Mike. And I think you're right, though, Rick. An alliance with Toyota for sure. Joe Gibbs Racing has been strong throughout the course of the year. Carl Edwards, a member of that group. 6 poles already on the season. Will you be able to add to that total tonight?
We got a pretty fast Stanley Camry, so hopefully we can. And, you know, this is like we were talking about before we went on camera. This is an exciting time of year. I mean, you got to go, and competition's tough. It'd be great to start off with the pole here and, you know, and turn that into a victory at Charlotte. But I want to say I'm thinking of the Laxton family. Dwight Laxton and I won a ton of races together, and we lost him the other night. A good man. So, Wanda, we're thinking about you. Hopefully we can have a good run for you guys this weekend.
As if Carl Edwards needed any additional motivation, he certainly has it as the first phase of the round of 12 begins in just moments, Rick.
Yeah, surprisingly, there are a lot of cars still in the garage, still trying to get through tech and get out onto the grid.
This is not new, Rick. We've seen this a couple weeks ago. We saw it at Chicago. There were some cars a little late to qualifying, and NASCAR in Chicago said that their equipment had worked and had worked as it is supposed to, and that basically there were too many teams going around. So we'll have to try to get a report from one of our reporters down there. Maybe they can ask NASCAR to see whether they just feel this is too many times around or what the situation is, because there's some big cars down there. We look at the 78s down there. That's the 2 right there we see on the screen. Looks like about 10 cars and maybe 2 or 3 chasers involved.
I want to take a look at the rules for tonight's group qualifying. Round 1, 24 will advance into round 2. They have 20 minutes to go out on the track. They can make as many laps as they want in that 20-minute time limit. And once they're in the top 24, they will advance to round 2. Then in round 2, the 12 fastest will advance to round 3. Only 10 minutes of track time. And finally, round 3. 5 minutes, and that will set the final 12 positions and the pole.
And Rick, you heard Joey Logano say, you have to find speed. You know there's grip out there. How do you find speed? What did he say, Jeff? Drive it in until it slips and adjust. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. Maybe that's why I was never a driver, but somehow you got to find a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, and that's where it's nice if you can sit there and wait for just a minute and let some other guys go and understand what the pace of the track is. So you don't overdrive it or underdrive it. You get a good idea what the pace is, how much more speed the track has and what it has in practice. We've been surprised a few times, Steve, where the track actually had a little less speed. I find that hard to believe that that's going to happen tonight, but it has happened a few times.
So a number we saw earlier was Kevin Harvick. He set the fastest speed in practice, and that speed was over 193 miles an hour. The time was 27.870 seconds around this mile and a half.
And we're going to see the 7 car running the top of 3 and 4 coming to the green, just trying to get that thing wound up. Jeff, trying to get the momentum. With grip in the racetrack, he doesn't have to run the bottom. We'll see how it grips, though, down here in turns 1 and 2. See if we see any sparks over these bumps.
This is where he's wide open to the throttle by now. He's going down the back straightaway. Now he understands the grip he has compared to what he had in practice. Now he has to adjust to that into turn 3, understand how much harder or less hard he can drive the car from practice.
Seems like he's a little off the bottom, both ends of the racetrack. He had run a 29.26 in practice.
28.59. I would say there's a little speed in the track.
Well, that's about 7 tenths of a second faster than practice. What you don't know, though, is as Casey Mears runs a 28.39 behind him, did the 7 improve their car? What did they struggle with in practice?
Benedetto goes 28.148 for the fastest lap thus far. Mike.
Rick, as we sit down here in inspection, you can see there are a number of chasers still yet to be certified to go out on the racetrack here for qualifying. Among them, you can see Matt Kenseth, his car is going through here as well. Chase Elliott's car has not been certified. Beyond that, just in the garage, there are other cars that are still working to get in compliance. That would be the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., also the 2 of Brad Keselowski. So a lot of chasers still trying to get their cars certified so they can roll out here for the beginning of round 1 of qualifying.
Steve, why do you cut it so close? Why are they trying to go right up against the tolerances?
Well, because there's grip. The reason there are rules is because there needs to be a limitation on what NASCAR will allow you to do. And all of those limitations are there for a reason. And the reason are it's an advantage. It's like basketball. They only give you so many steps because traveling has to exist or you can run up down the court with the ball. Well, in racing, the tolerances can be confusing because it's where the tires are set, how much the car weighs, what shape the body is. But the simple fact is, this garage area is full of smart engineers taking advantage of every one of them. If the rule is 1 inch, you need to be 0.99999. You can't be over, but you can't be under by 20 or 30% and think you're going to go compete at this level and try to win the pole.
And as long as a lot of cars don't have problems, you still have time to get through tech. So you go through once, right? And then you go back through. And as long as you don't have 20 cars with the same problem, you're still going to get to go back out. So you try to push every single thing to the limit. Worst case scenario, you got to go around once, you fix it, you go off.
But the problem is, when 25 guys have to go around.
That's right.
Because now we went from 40 cars to be inspected to 65 cars inspected. And then you get 10 more to go around a third time, and now you're 75 cars to be inspected. NASCAR doesn't build in that. They have been clear that this is how much time is built into the schedule. Everybody's going to have a shot. If you go back around because you fail, that's not on NASCAR. They have made that statement that if they feel their equipment is operating correctly, it's not their problem. And I like that. Stand by it. That's the only way these teams are going to feel any sort of wrath for being so close to the edge.
And a lot of them are right there at the edge as we see the sparks flying from underneath Cole Witt's number 98. Cole Witt, the 25-year-old out of Alpine, California.
You see right now, rolling on the racetrack, Alex Bowman. A little surprised to see these guys going out so early. They were second fastest in practice. I think this track will only get faster. So I think the thought is go early. They're fast enough. If you like to move into the first 24, into the fastest 24, go early. Sit as long as you can. Let your tires cool as much as you can. That's their strategy right now.
Yeah, this 88 is going to show us instantly what this track has for speed. You see he's easily running faster than
Benedetto.
Yeah, I was actually looking down through your practice here at 27.99. So about a 28 flat. It looks like he's trending a little quicker than that, maybe a 27.90, 27.80. It's gaining a lot right here, though, maybe even a 27.70.
Great lap by Alex Bowman, 27.81.
Yeah, I don't know if that is a great lap, Steve. Rick, I don't know. I mean, we've seen a lot of cars pick up a great deal. We did not see him pick up.
But it only has to be in the top 24.
That's right.
And he was second. I think he had a lot to give.
78 of Martin Truex Jr.'s rolled out from inside of the garage area. We're looking at the 95 of Michael McDowell, new crew chief for that team this week.
Todd Parrott heading over there. This 95 team out. Good lap for Michael McDowell, 28.18. 4th out of 7 cars so far.
And again, only 7 cars have been on the track under 5 minutes. Over 5 minutes now has gone off the clock.
And now Danica here is going to try to help establish what we think you need to run. Danica covered right around that 21st position the whole time in practice. Big moment right there, though. Got up the racetrack, she was able to stay in the throttle. So this might establish, in my mind, what about the mid-20s is going to be if you look at her practice times.
Danica and her team, they need something good to happen. It's not been a good summer for them. They've not rolled these last few races with much speed, much positive going on. They need something good to happen. She's second at a flat.
28 flat for Danica Patrick. As we're now looking at Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
He has a good lap going. You mentioned that lap by the 88. I still think it's enough to get through, but it is not going to be in the top 5 or 6. I believe it's going to be maybe 10th, 12th, 15th when we get some faster cars on the racetrack. Because A.J. Allmendinger right here is going to prove it. He's going to go to the top of the chart. A.J. was 7th in practice, and he currently just ran a 27.79 to be the top of the chart.
Austin Dillon in the 3. Now on the clock. Austin Dillon, one of the first-time chasers. In 2016, Austin has the yellow spoiler, yellow splitter, and the yellow band across the windshield indicating chase driver. Kyle was there a week ago. This is Kyle Larson in the 42.
He does not have a great lap going, Rick. This lap by Kyle Larson has me concerned that he's not going to have enough speed. 7th. I'm not sure 28.12 is going to guarantee him in the top 24.
I don't think it is. I think they're going to have to start looking right now and having to run again.
Kyle Larson went 28:09 in practice earlier, as we see Kenseth having to go through the laser one more time.
And now you're getting to the point where in 12 minutes, now you see the crew members, they don't look as calm, they don't look as relaxed. Crew chief right there, Jason Ratcliffe, coming over to look at the numbers himself. It's starting to get a little more pressure packed for this 20 team. If they fail this one time with 12 minutes, I'm not sure they have time to go around.
A lot of sparks out from underneath the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin in the red. Not as quick as what A.J. Allmendinger has run.
Well, he doesn't have to need to be as quick as Allmendinger yet, although he gets off turn 4 really well. This will be a nice solid lap, easily in the top 24. Mission accomplished, currently 4th.
5 drivers have broken 28 seconds in this qualifying session. And in the green, for a moment there, was Tony Stewart.
Mark trending the right way down the back straightaway.
Compare this to earlier. Look how much more aggressive he could be. I mean, hard back to the throttle. We didn't hear anything like that in 3 and 4 in practice. There was a lot of patience back to the throttle. Look how fast the 4 is.
Mark is 72. That is about a 10th and a half quicker than what he ran in practice.
Truex, only 8th quick. 27.97, I believe that'll be enough. But as you said, that's a nerve-wracking position to be in.
Other cars coming out of the garage, the 24 of Chase Elliott. They just finished inspection. Trevor Bayne in the 6. He's 0.4 of a second off first, but once again, we haven't even had 24 cars on the track yet. That will be the cut line. Drivers working to get into the top 24 so that they can advance to round 2. As you mentioned earlier, the later in this qualifying run that they can go out on the track, the cooler it's going to be. The sun has been down for quite some time now. Temperatures continue to go down as Kurt Busch try to find a little speed. Kurt Busch on the clock and in the green until he entered turn number 1 and then fell back out of green into the red.
It like came to the line really well, like he got off turn 4 real well and drove into turn 1 with good speed. Because he hold it through 1 and 2.
Yeah, you see on the left side of the screen the 20 of Matt Kenseth has passed the laser. They're making the final adjustments to go up directly onto the racetrack.
Under 10 minutes to go, past the halfway point of this first round. Carl Edwards on the track.
And with a lot of fast cars to go, I have some concern for Larson, Keselowski, Biffle, 15th, 16th, and 17th. I'm not sure they have enough speed. They only have 9 cars between them and the cut line. You see Edwards on the track sparking pretty good off the right side skirt, but trending right around at 27.70. I think he's going to easily go better than Keselowski. And there are still at least, I'm thinking 6 or 7 drivers that could beat the 12 or the 2 with Brad Keselowski.
I think Brad's going to be right on that edge of making it. He'll have a tough decision to make whether to make a second run or not. He's not going to want to make a second run because I think that'll be a disadvantage. But he may not have a choice.
Yeah, because as these cars get bumped out, Bowyer down below the cut line. If Almirola gets bumped out, Buescher, Scott, can they go out now that they know how much grip is in the racetrack? They're not guessing the grip level anymore. Can they find the speed? Now we're on board Joey Logano. You heard earlier, go until it slips and adjusts. Well, he's adjusted well. Carries a ton of speed off turn 2. I think he's going to get by Almirola, currently trending in the green. We'll see if he can keep the speed up through 3 and 4.
But I'm a little surprised we're talking about Logano. Can he beat Almirola in 24th? I mean, they can't be happy with this run. I don't know if this is going to be enough to safely lock them in.
No,
it's not.
Way it is.
No, it's not even close.
Logano 24th on that one lap.
This is the start of the second round. These teams that are struggling right now, this is cause for concern. Jimmy Johnson 17th, Logano 25th, Keselowski 16th.
Very good. 13th.
He said it, not very good. We have Matt Kenseth hadn't even made a lap yet because of not going through tech. So
Chase Elliott's yet to be on the racetrack.
I mean, the stress level is getting higher by the second.
So important that the Chase drivers especially have a great showing at Charlotte and Kansas, because Talladega is looming at the end of round 2. Round of 12.
We talked about how difficult this qualifying session is. Danica Patrick currently 11th. Great run by Danica Patrick.